Hello, welcome everyone. Today we'll be looking at my top 10 Wing Chun films. But first, welcome back everyone. So yeah, we're looking at my top 10 Wing Chun films. So get your bong sao, lat sao, tan sao, biu ji, xiu lum tao, ti sao. Get everything out because we're gonna get started. So at number 10, we've got Wing Chun from 1994, directed and produced by Yin Ping, that stalwart, that legend in the martial arts film industry, choreography. So this film is starring Michelle Yeoh, Donnie Yen, Wei Si Lee, Chen Pei Pei, and Norman Choi Siu Kang. And so it's a great cast. And you know, this is a fun little film charting the life story of Wing Chun. And you know, it's got it's a great film. It's not realistic enough in terms of the Wing Chun style portrayed, but it's Wing Chun is the first disciple of Mui, who is supposedly the founder of Wing Chun, and she's played in this film by Chen Pei Pei, and that, those scenes with Chen Pei Pei and Michelle Yeoh actually quite deep and quite well thought out, quite beautifully filmed. So this is, you got Norman Choi as the good but bad gangster boss guy who's got a qigong technique, like a soft cotton belly, and it's a fun comedic film with some good martial arts action, and so that's why Wing Chun is at number 10. Okay, in 9th place we've got The Legend is Born, Ip Man. So this film was made in 2010. This is directed by Herman Yao. It's starring Dennis To, Louis Fan, Sammo Hung, Yun Biu, and Ip Chun, Ip Man's real life son. He's playing Leung Bik, the son of Leung Jan, who was the original teacher of Chang Wa-shan. So this is another one of those Wing Chun films where it's going back into the history of the style, looking at the teachers of Ip Man, the differences between Chang Wa-shan and Leung Bik, and I quite like that. I like these Wing Chun films where they've got looking at some of the other teachers, some of the reasons why they split, and so on and so forth. Obviously this film is a film, so they have a lot of artistic licenses, shall we say, with the storyline and things that happen, but it's a good film. It's enjoyable watch. Dennis To, he plays quite an affable, charming young Ip Man, and yeah, you've got Yun Biu and Sammo Hung as Chang Wa-shan, and Tok Leung, I think is the teacher's name, I can't remember. But Ip Chun is brilliant as Leung Bik, very sweet and unassuming little chap. So yeah, this is a great film. So Legend was Born, Ip Man is my number 9. At number 8, we've got Stranger from Shaolin. starring Cecilia Wong and directed by Tony Liu. So this film came out in 1977, and it's it's not the best film ever, but it's got the distinction of being the first film to have Wing Chun, however loosely it's displayed, as the style in the film. This came out a full year before Sammo Hung made Warriors 2, and so it really was a trendsetter. And the Cecilia Wong playing Yin Wen Chun, fighting against Manchus who coming down south and into Fujian and Guangdong, and the fight scenes aren't amazing, they're solid, and a little bit more on the realistic side, but just the fact that you've got this display of Wing Chun in 1977, you could say this paved the way for Sammo. Sammo took it a step further, quite a few steps further, but this really deserves to be on the list. So so number 8, Stranger from Shaolin. Okay, we're at number 7. So for number 7, it's Warriors 2 by the legend that is Hong Gampo. So this came out in 1978 and was the first of his 2 films of on Wing Chun, the other being Prodigal Son. And this film came out, and it's like a smorgasbord of actors, and you got Beardy, you got Casanova Wong, Dean Shek, Fung Hak On, Sammo, Eric Zhang, Mars, you've got Lau Gao Wing, Lam Jingying, Hoi Sang Lei. You've also got Yun Biu. I mean, it's everyone. Like everyone who's anyone in Hong Kong. Hong Kong stunt work is in this film. Okay, the Wing Chun on display, it's a little bit stylized, but he's kind of finding his feet with this film. He's looking at it and thinking, what can we do with this to push the envelope? And it's a great film. As a Wing Chun film, it really, really tries, and in some parts it works, in other parts it doesn't, but it's well executed and is really up there. It's pipped to the post by Prodigal Son, in my opinion, but it's a great, great film, and I think Sammo did an amazing job with this film. There's gonna be a lot of haters for me choosing this as high up as number 7. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to be surprised it's not second or third after Prodigal Son. Last fight is wicked, between Sammo, Casanova and Fung Hak On. Even if the praying mantis is a little bit ropey, but the choreography is sick, the execution is sick, so we can forgive that. But it really is an amazing film. So that's my number 7. So in 6th place, we've got Ip Man, The Final Fight. This is another one directed by Herman Yao. This is a sequel of sorts to The Legend is Born Ip Man. And this is starring Anthony Wong as the titular character Ip Man. So this is a slightly different film again. This is a bit more thought-provoking and a bit more of a refined portrayal of Ip Man. And Anthony Wong is a great, great actor, and he actually voiced this role with a Fasan accent, because he wanted it to be, more realistic. You've got Jordan Chan in there as well, as a police captain and a student of Ip Man. And this film is going into some of the kind of sadder elements of Ip Man's life, and you got some small parts played by Hong Yan, who played Guai Gatat in Once Upon a Time in China. And you know, it's a good film. I really enjoyed the film. I think Anthony Wong makes the film for me. If it was somebody else that was playing him, I don't think it would be as good. But the Wing Chun on display is realistic, and it's a great film. So that's my number 6. Number 5, we've got Wong Kar-wai's The Grandmaster. The Grandmaster came out in 2013, starring Tony Leung Chiu-wai and Zhang Ziyi. So this is a bit of an art house film because it's Wong Kar-wai, I'll admit it, but I really love the story. The martial arts is a little bit out there at times, but it's thought-provoking, and it's, you know, you're showing other styles in there. Bagua against Wing Chun. You've got Baji, Xing Yi, which you don't often see these styles in films, especially against styles like Wing Chun. So you know, I really like this film, and Tony Leung, along with Anthony Wong, you know, they're actors that, you know, you really can't fault them. You could have them playing anyone and they'll knock it out of the park. But yeah, Zhang Ziyi was great. For Wong Kar-wai, you know, you got the kind of slow motion. You got a lot of qing gong, you know, like a flying arts. It's a little bit out there, but I think as a Wing Chun film, I think it works. And so, yeah, that's my number 5. So, number 4, we've got The Final Master, which is a 2015 film by Xiu Huafeng, starring Liao Fan, Jiang Wenli, Song Jia, and you got some OGs in there as well, Hong Yan and Chen Kuan-tai. So this film is a completely different story to any of these other Wing Chun films, and it's very much heavy on the weapon side, which is not a bad thing. Usually I don't like martial arts films where it's mainly weapons, but this is done it's very practical, and so you're seeing weapons like Ba Zam Do, you know, the butterfly knives using pairs, and Lok Dim Fung Kun, which is a 6.5 length pole. So you don't often see these weapons being used, so it's quite nice to see them used in a more practical way, as opposed to what you see in some films. So fight scenes are very well choreographed, and you've got a massive cornucopia of kung fu weapons in this film, and showing how Wing Chun weapons techniques are very direct and efficient, and it's a cracking story, and there's a lot of backstabbing, political intrigue, and etc. There's, you know, and you've got the martial arts, politics in there as well, and Master Chen in this film, he is going through his desire to pass the art on. His master has died, and he's wanting to find a todai or tuodi to pass the art on to, and he finds someone, and yeah, it's all the ramifications around trying to get on in life and trying to do the right thing, trying to pass on the art, trying to teach properly, and Wu De, which is like martial virtue. So it's a really, really good film. It was a bit of a surprise hit because it kind of snuck in there, and there was no real big martial arts stars in there. They were all really kind of seasoned actors, except for, like I said, you got Chen Quan Tai from, God knows how many films he's done back in the day. But yeah, he's done it all. And then obviously you got Hong Yan Yan as well, just for good measure. Again, he played Kwai Ga Tat. He was in Ip Man, the final fight. And he's been in so many things, but yeah, this is a really, I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would, and that's why this is in my 4th place. I just wish they would have had more hand techniques. And then I would have really loved this, but yeah, it was really, really good, really great scenes, and yes, that's why this is my number 4. Okay, number 3. You knew there had to be a Donnie Yen Ip Man in here somewhere, so at number 3 I've got Ip Man, the very first film. So this film came out in 2008, directed by Wilson Yip, and obviously starring Donnie Yen. You've got Yam Datwa, you've got Fan Si Wong, who's great in this film. Actually prefer him in this role. His character changes later on in the series, and yeah, I much prefer this iteration of his character. But yeah, this is the first film that really got the ball rolling with Wing Chun on the big screen. So, and it's a massively patriotic film, Japanese invading Fasan, and all the ramifications of that, and the difficulties that the Chinese endured. So, in this film, the choreography is superb. You got some bits where it's a bit fantastical, which but it's a film. You don't expect that, but the execution of it, the efficiency, the the simplicity of the fight scenes. You never seen Wing Chun done like this on the big screen, and admittedly, without the films that have come before it, Warriors 2, Prodigal Son, maybe this would never be made. Who knows? But obviously this one then pushed all the others to be made. And speaking of Warriors 2 and Prodigal Son, all the choreography was done by our good friend Sammo Hung. So yeah, he's obviously thought, okay, it's developed from Warriors 2 then to Prodigal Son. Even from Warriors 2 to Prodigal Son, there was quite a leap in terms of the style of Wing Chun being executed on film. And now in Ip Man, you're getting closer to what Wing Chun should be, and it's it's done. I think as well. I think audiences, they've become more experienced with martial arts. The general person is got more knowledge about martial arts in general, and so when they see a move that looks simple, but the timing, the execution of it has been done to perfection, they appreciate that maybe more so than a big fancy jumping kick. There's and as well, these kind of fight scenes, the timing, the sound effects and the music all come together. And I think with something like Wing Chun, the timing and the sound effects, so you've got that hop, You know, like the you know that scene in Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee in the corridor, and he's just, you know, it's very simple. It was simple techniques, but it was the timing of it, the speed, the accuracy, and the rhythm. It's the rhythm. So when you've got that, you know, where it's slow, and then suddenly it just speeds up, and you know, there's a sort of organic rhythm to that just draws you in. And when it works, you can tell immediately. And when it doesn't work, it's glaringly obvious. Case in point, like Drunken Master 2, when they messed about with the sound effects, and you know, it kind of ruined the fight scenes. So yeah, Sammo's just knocked it out of the park. And so yeah, this is just a brilliant film with a great cast. So Sami Yamdatwa, Fan Xie Wong, and you know, countless others. It's a great film, and that's why this film is number 3. So number 2, it's Bai Ga Zai. So it's Prodigal Son. I know a lot of you are gonna completely disagree with me on this one. This one is, for a lot of you, I'm sure most of you, it's gonna be number 1. And there's no denying Bai Ga Zai is an amazing kung fu film. It's probably one of the best kung fu films. But we're talking about Wing Chun films. And so, you know, it is a Wing Chun film, obviously, of course. But is it the best Wing Chun film? To me, it had to come second place. There's no denying that it deserves to be in the top 3 easily. And for me, yeah, it was tossed up between second place or first, but ultimately the Wing Chun that's on display, for me, it's not good enough to be first place. So yeah, obviously Sammo did Warriors 2, and you can see there's a progression from Warriors 2 to this, you know, a huge leap, but still the Wing Chun is, you know, it's a bit stylized, and you know, it's not really a criticism, but obviously it's for film, and film audiences in those days needed to, you know, see it a bit fancy movements, a bit wide open movements, which don't always lend themselves. You know, the short kind of close hand movements don't lend themselves well to an action film, to a martial arts film. So, you know, it's a great film, amazing kung fu film, and you know, that scene, which, you know, a lot of people cite as being a great scene, that scene between Frankie Chan and Lam Jingying, you know, when they were on the boat. It's just, you know, it's a short scene, but it's sick, it's wicked. And there's been so many YouTube videos analysing that and just citing it as one of the best kung fu film scenes. So, yep, Prodigal Son, my number 2. Drum roll, please. Okay, number 1 in my top 10 Wing Chun films for me is got to be Ip Man 2. What? I can't believe it. He's lost his mind. I know, but I just love this film. This is my favourite film of the Ip Man series, and it's my favourite Wing Chun film. Not only have you got Sammo doing the fight choreography, you got him starring as well as a Hong Kong master. So you've got Wing Chun against Hong Kong. You've got an amazing story. You've got it all going on in this film. So for me, it's my favorite Wing Chun film. You're seeing weapons. You've just veritable smorgasbord. You got fights between with the other masters. You've got Bagua Southern Praying Mantis, and obviously you got Sammo Hung with his Hong Kong. And that fight scene between Sammo and Donnie is up there with the best. So yeah, that's the end of my top 10. And you know, let me know what you think. A few honorable mentions. I thought Ip Man #3 was, I hated the film, but I thought the fight scene at the end, Wing Chun against Wing Chun, was really interesting and really well done. But let me know what you think, or even give me your top 10 Wing Chun films. And yeah, so we'll see you next time. Take care now. Bye.